The cameras started rolling as soon as Jasmine Bleu got out of that black SUV outside the Atlanta clinic. One palm was gripped protectively against a belly that seemed fuller than it had been 2 weeks before. The other held a manila folder as though it contained the secrets of the cosmos. Word spread faster than wildfire thanks to the fervor of hip-hop group chat. Jasmine Bleu got pregnant again. And on every murmured lip came the same name that has divided families in the past. Kirk Frost. In just a few hours, the internet took off. Old clips of Kirk's sincere apologies to Rashida were displayed alongside new screenshots of Jasmine's enigmatic captions. "Some things you just can't hide," she said, posting a photo of her palm on her stomach. The diamond tennis bracelet Kirk gave her, which was still sparkling on her wrist, caused fans to go crazy. One fan wrote in all caps, "Rashida is going to lose it this time." Comment sections become battlegrounds. Not once again. People close to the Frost family claim that Rashida demanded a DNA test before the baby even had a heartbeat and confronted Kirk as soon as the rumor reached her phone. Another shared side-by-side pictures of Jasmine's previous pregnancy and this new one, which screamed at the timing, coincided with Kirk's most recent business trip to Miami. The true chaos was already boiling over behind closed doors. Kirk reportedly punched the marble kitchen island with such force that a wine glass shattered, shouting, "I haven't touched that girl in months," but his eyes were full of shame. Jasmine was on FaceTime with her sister across town, her voice breaking as she swore the baby was a blessing but refused to name the father. "You'll all find out soon enough," she said, tears streaming down her cheeks. "And some people are going to lose everything." The family is already split in two. A positive pregnancy test is hidden in a drawer, preparing to unleash the next stage of Atlanta's most toxic love triangle, while former pals are choosing sides and sharpening knives with old enemies. The tension in the Frost mansion reached a breaking point when Rashida Frost stormed into the kitchen the next morning with a printed screenshot of Jasmine Bleu's most recent post. She slapped her hand down on the counter after resting it low on that weird curve, and her voice boomed like thunder as she demanded to know if history was repeating itself in front of Kirk, who was still half asleep pouring his coffee. Emotions were running high as soon as their eyes locked. Kirk tried to keep his cool by saying he hadn't spoken to Jasmine in months, but the way his fingers shook as he set down the cup showed otherwise. The conversation soon devolved into a full-fledged altercation, with Rashida yelling that she wouldn't be made fun of again and Kirk yelling back that the baby might belong to any of the guys Jasmine had recently been spotted with. He was unable to hide the guilt in his eyes, though, and according to those close to the family, he eventually gave in to the pressure and admitted that there had been one late-night meeting in a downtown hotel after a club appearance. He swore 3 months ago, but it meant nothing until the rumors started to spread. Within hours, the video of Rashida's heated kitchen meltdown appeared, and fans were already going crazy on the internet. Jasmine Bleu was sitting in her living room, staring at her phone while her sister paced the floor and pleaded with her to tell the truth about the father, while others dismissed Rashida and called Jasmine a homewrecker. People wrote that the family was once divided in the barrage of comments, with some claiming Kirk had never changed and the pregnancy was just karma. But Jasmine just wiped away her tears and muttered that if the truth was revealed too soon, it would destroy multiple households. The personal stakes were higher for all parties involved because Rashida had built an entire empire on the image of a strong wife who had survived betrayal, and Kirk ran the risk of losing the last shred of respect from his children, who had already gone through the first round of drama years earlier. Another public pregnancy scandal threatened to destroy everything Rashida had fought for. The first major development came when an anonymous tipster contacted a popular blog, claiming to have seen Kirk and Jasmine together at a private ultrasound appointment the previous week. The tip included a grainy photo of a man who looked exactly like Kirk entering the clinic's side entrance. Fans were shocked as the image went viral, and minutes later, new accusations that Kirk had been living a double life once more surfaced along with old clips of Kirk's previous apologies. When Rashida confronted Kirk a second time that evening, in front of their closest friends, who had gathered for what was supposed to be a private dinner, emotions reached even higher levels. Rashida accused Kirk of lying every late night, and Kirk responded by accusing Jasmine of fabricating stories to gain attention and money. One acquaintance tried to intervene but was caught in the crossfire as Rashida swore to permanently quit the marriage if the child turned out to be Kirk, causing the argument to quickly escalate and the room to fall silent. When Jasmine's mother called her desperately from across town after seeing the clinic photo and now looking for answers, Jasmine sobbed uncontrollably and admitted that she was pregnant but refused. Her mother sobbed because the family name was going to be dragged through the mud once more, and too confirmed the father. The betrayal was especially painful for LHHATL's group of friends, who had stood by her during the initial controversy, and were now questioning every interaction they had witnessed between Kirk and Jasmine over the past year. Some of them contacted Jasmine privately, begging her to behave morally, but she only responded to the rumors with evasive answers about fate and second chances, which kept the tension high. The second unexpected turn of events was a deleted voicemail that somehow ended up on a gossip page. The audio was grainy but clear enough for fans to analyze every word, and the recording purportedly captured Kirk's voice promising Jasmine that no one would ever find out if the test came back positive. By midnight, hashtags demanding a public denial test were trending inside the Frost home. The family was split up in real time as LHHATL secluded herself in the master bedroom and refused to speak to Kirk, while their children heard enough of the raised voices to start asking difficult questions. That evening, Jasmine gave LHHATL a new story by only showing her silhouette against a window and writing, "Some secrets grow heavier every day." Some family members emailed LHHATL, arguing she deserved better than another public humiliation, while others called Kirk to offer support. A move that provoked heated debate and left everyone wondering what bomb she would unleash next. The personal stakes increased as more information leaked from people close to both camps, including claims that Jasmine had already hired a well-known lawyer to handle any potential child support discussions, and that Kirk had been spotted leaving a DNA testing facility by himself in the dark. Jasmine claimed she never wanted the situation, but the way she continued to tease it suggested she held all the power and was not afraid to use it. Confirmation that the child belonged to Kirk would not only destroy the painstakingly reconstructed picture of the Frost marriage. The third twist of the day came when a former friend of Jasmine's went live on social media, claiming to have proof that the baby could not be Kirk's because Jasmine had been involved with another well-known Atlanta figure during the exact window of conception. LHHATL was struggling to maintain her composure, Kirk was frantically trying to control the narrative, and Jasmine was sitting in the middle of the storm with a growing belly and a smile that suggested she knew exactly how much chaos she could unleash. Throughout the turbulent live stream, there were tears and incomplete sentences, but it sowed enough doubt for the whole thing to become much more explosive. Many who had been ready to crucify Kirk abruptly stopped, while others branded befriending a paid liar placed by the Frost camp to muddy the waters. The pregnancy rumors had developed from mere conjecture into a full-fledged battle of words and allegiances, with no one willing to concede and every player holding cards they weren't ready to display. The unresolved tension loomed large over Atlanta as everyone awaited the next move. Knowing that whichever way the truth turned out, emotions ran hot across all platforms as the family drama spilt into the public eye and relatives from both sides weighed in with ambiguous posts that only fueled the fire by the next morning. Every life involved would be irreversibly ruined. Shortly after noon, Kirk Frost unexpectedly showed up at Jasmine Blue's guarded apartment complex and demanded to speak with her face-to-face while her sister tried to block the door. The next move came sooner than anyone could have predicted. Jasmine herself entered the hallway, looking exhausted but determined. After the two of them locked eyes and the building seemed to hold its breath, Kirk finally spoke in a quiet, frantic voice, telling her that they needed to handle this in private before LHHATL Matey. This was Kirk's first public declaration, and Jasmine shot back, saying that he had no right to dictate anything after abandoning her the last time. Emotions were running high in that tiny hallway as their argument spilt into Ray's voice. Kirk insisted that the baby could not be his because he had been careful, while Jasmine laughed bitterly and reminded him of the exact night in the hotel when neither of them was thinking about being careful. The neighbor allegedly recorded a portion of the exchange, and the video went viral online within an hour, leaving fans to speculate further. Some thought Jasmine was acting for the cameras, while others thought Kirk's body language revealed guilt. The personal stakes rose when LHHATL left a business meeting after watching the video on her phone. When Kirk got home that night, the locks had been changed and a single suitcase containing his necessities was waiting on the porch, a move that shocked even the closest friends who had never seen LHHATL take such a drastic step. Her sister encouraged her to fight for the marriage, while her mother quietly advised her to keep her own peace and leave. The betrayal became even more painful when Jasmine uploaded a new photo later that evening, titled Some Truths, with her profile tilted downward to highlight the small but noticeable curve of her stomach. The family was once again split after she called her lawyer on the way to the car, sources close to tell her that she was already drafting divorce papers in her mind, refused to remain anonymous, and accusations and defenses flew in all directions in the comments section. The third major twist of the week came from a private text thread that somehow leaked, showing messages between Kirk and Jasmine from 2 months ago, in which he asked about her doctor's appointments and offered to send money under the table for any expenses. One longtime fan wrote that history was repeating itself in the most painful way possible, while another insisted Jasmine had timed the entire revelation to destroy the Frost brand just as their new business endeavors were launched. Rashida responded quickly and publicly. For the first time, she went live on her own social media account, eyes red but voice steady, declaring that she would not remain silent while her husband played games with another woman's pregnancy. In a matter of minutes, the live stream garnered hundreds of thousands of views. The messages were screenshotted and shared, leaving no room for denial and forcing Kirk into damage control mode, as he released a brief statement claiming the texts were outdated and taken out of context, but the dates matched the conception window. Jasmine's mother showed up at her daughter's flat with her own bag, ready to stay and help during the biggest arguments in town. But when the older woman demanded to know why Jasmine kept defending the man who had already shown that he would never choose her, Jasmine broke down in tears and insisted that the baby should have a chance to know his father, even if that father was still married. As the older kids began posting hazy tales about discovering people's true identities, and the smaller kids were allegedly kept out of the house. A fourth unexpected turn of events occurred when an anonymous clinic staff member claimed that Kirk had completed preliminary papers identifying himself as the responsible party of detail in addition to attending the ultrasound, and that if True destroyed the last of his denials, the web discourse would only go into overdrive based on the rumor. The two women argued late into the night, their voices resonating through the thin walls, and the family drama intensified when Kirk's brother publicly sided with Rashida, posting that blood is thicker than any fleeting temptation his sibling. Fans questioned whether Jasmine intended to keep the infants, whether Rashida would actually file for divorce, and whether Adina's test had already been set. Every character in the story seemed to be meticulously planning their next move, rushing a meeting with high-powered attorneys, Kirk Consulting, and crisis managers in Jasmine City with her growing secret, deciding how much truth the world was ready to handle the unresolved questions piled up faster than answers with. Up until the actual birth, detention in Atlanta felt like a mystery. The betrayal was so profound that even impartial parties had to pick a side or face being labeled as disloyal. The pregnancy persisted throughout it all, a living reminder that no number of declarations or removed posts could undo the effects of those late-night choices. The drama showed no signs of slowing down as another night went by and the city waited for the next explosion. Each new discovery only served to tighten the emotional noose around the three main characters, whose lives had once again become inextricably linked. Both sides reportedly hired private investigators, and old friends started picking sides, with some severing ties completely. As the cameras rolled while she sat down in a sleek black dress, her eyes steady and her voice calm but sharp enough to cut glass, Rashida Frost entered a downtown Atlanta television studio before dawn for an unexpected early morning interview, telling the presenter that she had reached her limit and that the days of ignoring Kirk's mistakes were over. Fans were shocked once again as soon as the video aired. Kirk watched the segment from a hotel room downtown, the same hotel where the alleged conception night had taken place. As the interview went viral and longtime supporters of the Frost marriage began, people's emotions were running high in living rooms across the country as they saw her vow that Adina test would be required the moment the kid was delivered, and that any attempt to conceal the truth would be met with full legal power, challenging everything they believed to be true. According to people close to him, he threw the remote control across the room, smashed a lamp, and yelled that Rashida was trying to ruin him in public. Jasmine watched the interview while sitting on her couch with her sister, and the two of them got into a heated argument when the sister begged her to finally identify the father, stressing that the baby's identification was not a public spectacle and that she would reveal everything on her own terms when the time was appropriate. Jasmine refused to speak. The personal stakes for all three were raised that same afternoon when Kirk's lawyer released a carefully worded statement denying any recent physical contact with Jasmine, and claiming the leaked texts were fake. However, the denial only heightened suspicion because the wording was so precise that it seemed practiced, and fans immediately began analyzing every word to find any weaknesses. As Rashidata's cousin sent encouraging words, Kirk's side of the family fell silent, further dividing the family. The fifth major twist was the hiring of a private investigator. On the day of the ultrasound, Rashidata's team claimed to have surveillance footage from the clinic showing a man with Kirk's height and build entering through the side door. Some of them allegedly encouraged him to take the test early in order to clear his name before the harm became irreversible. Even though the video was blurry, the timing was ideal, and within hours, images from the video were still circulating online, sparking rumors. Producers began phoning Jasmine non-stop, promising her a candid interview and large sums of money for the exclusive rights to the pregnancy story, but she ignored them all, sharing only one enigmatic story about a newborn onesie with the words, "Some legacies are written in secret." The emotional upheaval in her apartment intensified when her mother returned from the store and spoke to her again. This time, printed bank statements allegedly showed recent transactions from an account associated with one of Kirk's businesses. The once confident reality star was described as collapsing under the pressure of public scrutiny and private rejection. Jasmine sobbed that the money was only for medical expenses, but the older woman insisted on explanations. The argument got so loud that neighbors from all over the city called the front desk to voice their complaints. Fans are still picking sides, with hashtags in favor of Rashida rising in the charts and others defending Jasmine's right to privacy and accusing the whole story of being twisted for amusement. The sixth unexpected development was a second voicemail leak. When Kirk tried to call Rashida, his number was blocked, and when he arrived at the mansion gates, the security team turned him away under strict orders of betrayal felt complete for him. In this short but heartbreaking tape from weeks ago, Jasmine informed Kirk that the baby was doing well and asked whether he still planned to be involved. For many onlookers, it proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that the two had been in contact during the whole pregnancy. Emotions surged again as the recording went viral and earlier clips of Kirk, reassuring his family that the past was behind them, replayed endlessly alongside the new evidence. The personal stakes for the children in the Frost household became devastating when word leaked out that the older children had begun asking direct questions about whether they were going to have another sibling and whether their father had lied to them again. Rashidata was reportedly meeting in private with therapists to prepare for the fallout, while doing her best to keep them safe. The family drama continued to ruin relationships that had lasted years, with mutual friends forced to stop answering calls from both camps in order to avoid being drawn into the war. Jasmine, for her part, started receiving both encouragement and threats on the internet. When Kirk finally broke his silence with a longer video recorded from the hotel room, the number of comments praising her for carrying the child and condemning her as a calculating home wrecker who had waited for the perfect moment to strike detention reached a new high. As the days passed with no conclusive answers, no formal divorce filing, and no word from Jasmine about her postpartum plans,